Hello everybody and welcome back. I know it's been a long time since we did a Minecraft Hogwarts update video. It's probably been over a year. But I have done live streams recently, so if you haven't checked those out, I guess you really didn't miss much other than a few building parts, but I did showcase a lot of the new updates and stuff in there. But obviously, I'm going to cover most of the changes that have been done since the last update video, and oh my lord, would you believe me if I told you that there were a lot? Well, first of all, this is the new spawn, which already is way different than it was before. The board's a lot more cleaned up. Make sure to check out the Patreon, guys. But yeah, Hogwarts and the surrounding areas, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, the 3 amigos of, building here, and then me. But yeah, and this is the new map wall. These maps are actually zoomed very far out because there is a whole lot more terrain now. And that's going to be the biggest change in version 4, is the amount of terrain and the changes to the layout of not necessarily the castle, but everything else. So let's just get into it before we end up just talking for 50 years. So this is the new Hogsmeade Station. It is more based off of how Hogsmeade Station is supposed to look. So here we are. It's much nicer than what I had before, which was just one of these buildings and that's it. The train currently is going straight into the mountain, but that will obviously change in the future. I'm probably going to build a tunnel that actually doesn't go anywhere, but either way it'll look better than what we have now. I'm a big fan of how this came out. These are my textured chiseled sandstone. Made them look like sandstone bricks. So that looks very nice. If we go over here, we now have Hogsmeade up on a hill. And Hogsmeade at the moment is unfinished. But I do want to show it off because we do have some new shops. Well, I guess new shop designs. They're not new shops. We have Zonko's here, which is not much more detailed than it was last time, but there's not much you can put in a joke shop in Minecraft. Honeyduke's, on the other hand, is beautiful because we have these great textures that Connor made that were super high res that I had to lower the resolution on a lot. But they look really nice, and I'm using invisible armor stands finally. I know it took me 50,000 years to learn how to use them, but I now make use of them in certain places. So yeah, this is Honeyduke's, not much to it. It does have the cellar with the trapdoor, which doesn't go to Hogwarts just yet, but by the time version 4 comes out, it obviously will. As for their excuse me. As for the rest of these shops, these all have the same interiors. I'm probably going to redo a couple of them, especially stuff like the Magical Neat, and I don't know, a lot of them are really bad. I might just end up redoing all of them. Like, I changed the outside of the Quidditch shop, and a little bit of the 3 broomsticks exteriors changed. I think the interior has changed, like, slightly, but I don't remember what exactly was changed. Over here is the Shrieking Shack, which doesn't have snow on it yet. It's just the same Shrieking Shack as before, it's just in a new place. And if you haven't noticed, there's mountains everywhere. And yeah, we did those using commands. Don't ask me in the comments section how to do them, or how to do the commands to make them, because I don't know. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there that'll teach you how to make the tool. It's pretty common, but these were all done using a tool. They still took a fuck ton of time, but I mean, the results are fantastic, I think. There's new cart designs. They're more based off of the sort of Victorian-esque carts from Prisoner of Azkaban. And we have the new, these textures I made for the Thestrals, as you can see. There's a new walkway to Hogwarts as well. It brings you up towards the back here of the Quidditch pitch. And another cart spot that has some junk lying about, and you might notice these brooms. I'll get to those in just a minute. But the terrain towards Hagrid's hut has been changed as well. Hagrid's hut's been moved over a little bit, and the terrain in general over here has been edited quite substantially. The wood bridge also probably has been changed since the last update video. The front of the clock tower has been changed as well, so it's now much wider in the front and has a lot more detail and looks a lot more like the clock tower. We have these water particle effects for the fountain. If it sounds like I'm going a mile a minute in this video, by the way, it is because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. The stairs in the clock tower are now in the correct place, and they're much easier to climb. There's a new interior for the hospital wing, and as you can see, we have NPCs now who are retextured to look like, you know, people, and I've started adding quotes to them, so he should have been brought straight to me. I could mend bones in a heartbeat, but growing them back, get ready for a rough night, Potter. So yeah, many of you might know that back in the day I used to have signs with quotes on them. All of those, for the most part, will be replaced with new quotes, but in the form of NPCs. I think they look way better than just leaving signs everywhere, and yeah, it makes you feel a little bit less alone in this map. But now, a big change, other than the fact that the Quidditch pitch is gigantic compared to how it used to be, and now has stairs in them that you can actually climb to get to the top of the towers. We have workable brooms, alright, and we have 4 of them. There's the clean sweep, the Nimbus 2001, Nimbus 2000, and the Firebolt. So as you can see, there's the clean sweep, there's the Nimbus 2001, there's the Firebolt, and there's the Nimbus 2000. They're all textured and modeled by yours truly. And big shout outs to my pal Brent and my other pal Tom H Magic, who is a genius. They helped me get this to work, and I couldn't be more happy that these finally work. I was just editing them last night so that they were faster. So I will stop talking and I will show you what it's like to ride one of these puppies. So as you can see, you can fly around no problem on these things. But I didn't just stop at making them, you know, flyable brooms. They all have different values, so they're all different speeds. As you can see, the Nimbus 2000 is a lot quicker than the Clean Sweep 11 was. You'll see here the Nimbus 2001 is a lot quicker than the Nimbus 2000. And last but not least, the Firebolt. And this baby flies. When I was messing with the values last night, I gave this a value of 10, and it shot out like a rocket, like Mach speed. But I obviously made it a little bit slower so that it was a bit easier to manage, but as you can see, it's still so fast that you really can't fly it too quickly, because unless you have a better setup than me, you probably won't be able to get everything to render in quick enough for the Brooms. And you can fly them in first person too, but I found that third person is a little bit easier to go up and down. So, yeah. These are the Brooms. Now we'll come on over to the east wing and jump on off here, and as you can see, the training grounds towers are gone. I don't remember if they were gone in the last update video, but they're gone now, and the normal training grounds tower has replaced it. And we had one here previously, but we made these hallways fatter, so now it's bigger and much nicer looking than it used to be. We added the study from Chamber of Secrets. We have Transfiguration. We have a couple of hallways here. Not much to them. There's another hallway in here with a broom closet. There is the old Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom in here. There's a lot more room now. And you got Professor Quirrell in there. Not much changed here interior wise, but one thing has changed quite drastically, and that's the prefect's bathroom. So as you can see, it's much smaller, but it's a lot more akin to how the prefect's bathroom is supposed to look. So yeah, here's the prefect's bathroom. Trying to get through this very quickly, but there's a lot to show. So the entrance hall, or the viaduct entrance, has been overhauled quite a bit, as you can probably tell. I based it a lot off the Prisoner of Azkaban PS2 interior. It's basically just that, but blocky. But it looks gorgeous, especially the giant stained glass window up there. And the hourglasses are pretty much the same design. But the entrance hall is definitely a lot better. We edited this area in the astronomy tower to be less open and a little bit more tight and compact. I felt like before it was way too open and it kind of looked bad. So a lot of the interior changes you'll see in the castle were made to make it see so that it was a bit more compact. But this is the new library. We have player heads, so there's stacks of books and invisible item frames for the books and other items you can place on tables. Don't mind the command block, it will be gone before version 4. But if you walk over here, it takes you straight into the restricted section. So it's pretty much just the exact same as the normal library, just darker with different types of lamps. But it is a seamless teleport for the most part. So maybe it's not. I guess it's a little broken, but don't worry. I'll make sure that that's all fixed before the map officially goes up for download. And by the way, I know I talked about the Patreon at the beginning, but if you want a monthly map download of this map every month, sometimes 2 a month, sometimes 3 a month, you can ask anybody who's currently subscribed to my Patreon, and I will shout them out later on in this video, how often I actually release maps. And they will probably tell you it's more than I say that I am going to. The Dueling Club, this is a new area, which reminds me that we have working wands now. So they look a little weird in the hand in third person, but in first person they look good. It's just a bow, you shoot it, it shoots magic. There are a few places in the castle you can use the wand on, and I will show you at least one of them before the end of this video. This whole staircase, by the way, was redone, because before it was just messy. The astronomy classroom now brings you up to this little room, which you might remember from the Half-Blood Prince movie. It's where Harry and Hermione, or I guess Harry's comforting Hermione after she sees Lavender making out with Ron. And then there's this staircase, which is, you might be thinking it's weird, but upon further reference, I found out that this staircase is how the stairs is supposed to be for the astronomy tower. So here we are. So I changed this thing, it's now just a ball. There's just this little room in here, and then boom, we're in the astronomy tower. Amazing, fantastic, classic, beautiful. Let's move on, because there's so much to show. The greenhouses are pretty much the same. They're all kind of like this on the inside. They're obviously a lot nicer than they used to be. But yeah, trying to figure out where next to go, because like I said, I don't remember what was in the last update video and what wasn't, and I don't want to miss anything, but odds are I probably will. The Great Hall now has proper floating candles, as well as the night sky, which I'm not sure if I showed off in a previous video. Definitely showed it off in a previous stream. Here's all the teachers. Hagrid's not looking at us because he just doesn't wanna. There we go. Nothing's changed in the Grand Staircase Tower. It's all pretty much the same. Just other than a few classrooms getting like books placed on tables and stuff. This is a big change. There will be an animation for this, so this is just temporary. But Dumbledore's office got a huge upgrade. And when I say huge, I mean it's huge. As in absolutely massive. But it is so much nicer in its current state. It's big and breathable in here. These are his vials for his memory vials. Yeah. And we got Fox hanging out here. Got a nice chair. We got this room down under here that now is at least spacious to a degree. We have his telescope thing here. We have a staircase that brings you up to these balconies now. It's just way bigger, just all around. Way bigger, way better, way nicer. And finally, I know it's been almost 7 years since I said I would put something in the pensieve, but I finally did. And I'm not talking here because I want you to be able to hear that I actually have the song from, or it's the main theme of Goblet of Fire, because this is the room where Barty Crouch Jr. was caught and Igor Karkaroff is on trial, and you know, the first memory Harry ever uses in the pensieve. So it's really cool, and yeah, finally have a memory in there, so you guys can leave me alone about it. But I mean, the biggest change to me is the landscaping. As you can see, the Dragon Arena is now on an actual mountain, just a huge mountain. The maze is still in the same spot that it was, but you know, you might not be able to tell just based on just how different this area looks in general. The ruins are new. They may not look it to the untrained eye, but they are definitely new. Like I said, the maze is the same. Nothing's changed about it, other than the terrain next to it. And there's this huge field here with these winding rivers and more mountains. As you can see, there's a nice waterfall here at the end. So pretty much all of Hogwarts and Hogwarts grounds are now surrounded in mountains. So there's no more like, oh, you know, you can walk through the dark forest and eventually you just hit a point where I stopped putting trees and it'd just be nothing but flat world. Now Hogwarts is surrounded in a chasm, or a cavern, I guess it's chasm of mountains, and yeah, I think it's just better that way, because it, you know, you can't just look off into the distance now and see nothing if you have high render distance. So yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff at Hogwarts, maybe? Oh yeah, we changed the quad. Forgot about that, forgot to mention that. We got rid of a lot of those detailed tiny little windows and made the windows more like how they're supposed to be in the quad. Got nice windows all the way around it. Trying to think of anything else before we move on to something different. Oh yeah, I actually just did this area last night, but I want to show you. Here, this hallway is now kind of based off the Hall of Hexes from the Slughorn party from Half-Blood Prince. So it's just got a bunch of floating lanterns in it. It's really different. I haven't seen anybody do this before in any of their interiors for Hogwarts. So, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's different. Yeah, there's fucking, oh my god, there's still so much. There's a new stone bridge, or new, excuse me. Well, there is a new stone bridge. I edited the arches, but there's a new suspension bridge here. And now the first floor hallway in the quad is based off of the glow. I can never say it right. I'm not even gonna. So as you can see here, if you use the wand on the sink in Moaning Will's bathroom, it'll actually open up the Chamber of Secrets. And there's a few other places you can use it too, and I want Belkov to make hints to where you can use these. So when version 4 comes out, you'll know when you can use your wand on something. Because at the moment we have places that you can use it, but nobody really knows other than me and Belkov. So, yeah. Up here, we have a new version of Defense Against the Dark Arts. Ta-da! And Snape's in here, obviously, because the castle's based off Deathly Hallows, so, you know, I mean, Snape would be headmaster in Deathly Hallows, but then I wouldn't have anybody to teach Defense Against the Dark Arts, so Snape is here. So as you can see there was a bit of a stutter, but this is the 7th floor corridor. And you may be wondering, what's so special about the 7th floor corridor? Well, it has the new Charms class in it. But that's not it. It obviously is the house of the new and improved, vastly improved, Room of Requirement. I think that's all I need, yeah. So we use a DA coin. Do the usual, walk past this 5 times, and voila. So this is the new Room of Requirement. It is huge, it is amazing, and I'm so glad that we could do it straight instead of sideways so that I could put so much more detail in here. So this is just the DA's version of the Room of Requirement. If you've never seen my Room of Requirement before, I warn you that there are a lot of cool things that I'm about to show you. So we dropped the Half-Blood Prince potion book to get to the come and go room, and here we are. So this is the room where everything's hidden, obviously. It's much bigger, much more like how it's supposed to be in Deathly Hallows. Just a whole bunch of stuff. There's the Mirror of Erised in here. There's the Vanishing Cabinet, which still takes you to Borgin and Burke's. There's the lion statue from the Viaduct. There's the harp from Sorcerer's Stone. But there's another thing you can do in here that's very cool, and it's another use for the wand. Huh? What about that? Isn't that just the coolest thing? I think it's... No, dude, I love it. I think it's awesome. So yeah, you use your wand in the room where everything's hidden, and you can start a fiend fire. You can become Goyle. switch that out to the DA Refuge. I mean, you get the point. It's a whole bunch of room requirements. You should absolutely check them out on your own when version 5 comes out. Or, excuse me, version 4 comes out. You'll definitely not regret it. I promise. Or, you know, you can sign up for my Patreon for $5 a month and you can check it out now. But here's Slughorn's new office. I really like it. Came out fantastic, I think. And I just remembered, now that I'm doing this, that there is something different in the Grand Staircase Tower, and that is the new Hufflepuff Common Room. Again, I don't know if I showed this in the last update video, but we're just gonna do it again, I guess. Why not? So here's the Hufflepuff Common Room. It is much bigger, much nicer, just all around. One of my favorite common rooms in the castle now. It feels very warm and cozy in here. I used honeycomb for the wallpaper, and I think it looks really, really earthy and really good. It fits Hufflepuff very well, I think. But yeah. Alright, enough with Hogwarts. Alright, we've seen enough. There's probably some more stuff that I missed, but we're going to go to the fast travel area. There's a few things in here that are different, like for example, we finally changed the Horcrux Cave. I know a lot of people were pretty disappointed with the Horcrux Cave originally, so we are going to hop right in here and I'll show you guys what I did to this. So here we are. Horcrux Cave finally has water in it. And you might be wondering, what the fuck is this? Well, this is the firestorm that Dumbledore uses in Half-Blood Prince to save Harry from the Inferi. And this is the island they were on, and inside the island you will find Slytherin's locket. Or, well, the fake Slytherin's locket. So yeah. Hagrid's hut, I also changed the interior of, shoot, gotta update this teleport. Yeah, you can kind of see how far away I moved Hagrid's hut. So here's Hagrid's hut now. There's Fang. There's Hagrid hanging out. His quote is one of my favorites of his, which is, and it's Coswallop to boot. Dirty blood. Why, there isn't a wizard alive today that isn't half-blood or less. More to the point that they've yet to think of a spell that our Hermione can't do. Don't you think on it, Hermione. Don't you think on it for 1 minute. Yeah. So, it's pretty much the exact design of Hagrid's hut now, instead of whatever I had before. There was a lot of traces of just being lazy, and I know that might sound like blasphemy for me to say, but it is true. A lot of the stuff that used to not look so good, but I'm changing now, is just pure laziness. But I made changes to the burrow. I was informed that despite how much I thought I knew about the burrow, the front door here isn't directly into the kitchen. It's the side door here that is actually the entrance to the kitchen. So, but yeah, the burrow has a brand new interior and somewhat of a brand new exterior as well. As you can see, the outside got thinned quite a bit. It used to be a lot fatter than it is now, which does make the interior smaller, but when I get around to doing the upstairs rooms, I'll try my best. But I've been working really hard on trying to get my interiors to look nicer, and I think that I'm starting to get there. You know, we got things like these shelves and shag carpets and a standing broomstick just hanging out here. Just think in general my interiors are getting a lot better than they used to be, which is good because I was never too much of a interior guy. Alright, and our last stop in today's video will be Diagon Alley, because there's been some changes in Diagon Alley, and there will continue to be some changes in Diagon Alley. So, the wall here, you can now use a wand to open. I think it's way better than using the button. A few of the shop exteriors have changed a little bit, but it's the interiors that have changed a lot. So this is the Magical Menagerie. The updated pet shop just looks way nicer than it used to. This is Madam Malcolm's Robes for All Occasions. Again, thanks to Connor's designs for the school uniforms, you can actually come here and get your uniforms. And again, it just looks a lot nicer now. This is Quality Quidditch Supplies with the Nimbus 2000 in the window. And I love the way this store is now that I have like the models for the Nimbus 2000, the 2001, and the Firebolt, and the Clean Sweep, and all that. And then there's the Quidditch uniforms, and they're holding brooms, and it's really cool. And you got Quidditch Through the Ages. Across the street we have a new Flourish and Blots interior, a lot more like how it's supposed to look. There's this little area that Lockhart comes out of in Chamber of Secrets. Just all these shelves and books, and you know, I mean, it is a bookstore after all, so. Flourish and Blots. This is a new interior for Florian Fortucci's Ice Cream Emporium. It's not too much different, just a little bit smaller because I didn't really know how to fill the space that I had previously, and I didn't do well at it. This interior only slightly changed. We just kind of added arches to it, not too big of a change there. Mr. Mulpepper's Apothecary, brand new interior in here. As you can see, much nicer, much more like a shop. So, yeah, big fan. Big fan. It actually has a display in the window, which is good. And then there's Pottage's Cauldron Shop, which, again, has a brand new interior. Much nicer now that we have these smaller cauldrons as well as the big cauldrons, and then these cauldron banners, and just a lot nicer, a lot more well done. Not much really changed in here. There was just a few small tweaks in Ollivanders. You may have noticed that Gringotts looks completely different, and yes, it does. Chase actually came through and built this much nicer looking Gringotts, and I really like how it came out. It currently doesn't have an interior, but it will, rest assured. And as for the rest of these shops, I haven't gotten around to updating them yet, so there's nothing new in that regard. So we are just going to fast travel back to the teleport area so that I can show you guys one final room and then end this video off the best way that I know how. And that's rambling for way too long. So here is the new Room of Patrons. I know I've already plugged my Patreon like 3 times previously, but I want to plug it again because people continually ask me in the comments of my videos if I'm doing more map downloads, and I am. Version 4 will come out, and it will be awesome. As you can tell by everything that's been added and all the work that we're doing, it's definitely worth the wait. But if you want to support me in this project and you want to get benefits for that, my Patreon is the best place to do that. Okay, it is $5 a month. You get access to the map downloads multiple times a month on most months. Minimum 1, maximum how many ever I want. And you get your name put into the Hall of Patrons. So I'm just gonna shout out all of the patrons I have so far and all of the people that subscribed for a month or whatever and left. You know, you stay in this hall. You will forever be immortalized on this map. So shout outs to ESRP Mind, Obadiah Wright, Tamaric Goat 284, Mr. Tardis 26, Rocket Talk, Victoria Smith, Jimmy Daglish, I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry, Larai, Christopher Williams, Ryan Jones, Urban Warrior, Connor Charlton, who also helps on the map, Jacob Hensley, and Tyler Mitchell. Thank you guys for subscribing to the Patreon. Everybody watching this video, thank you for watching this video. I know it was a long one, and it's gonna suck to render out and send out to you guys, but it's been a long time since I did an update video, and I don't want to leave you guys too far in the dark. I promise next time when we do something big, I will record it right away so that I don't have to do a 45-minute info dump video on you guys. So, thank you for watching. Make sure to check out my other videos. Make sure to check out the Patreon. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Make sure to do whatever the fuck you want. Have a good time, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy version 4 when it comes out, and I hope you're enjoying version 3 as it is now. Thank you. Goodbye.